Okay, I wanted to make a really quick video on some really basic Python with the Lego EV3. I've already installed Python on the SD card, and I've already installed Visual Studio Code. So I've also already installed the EV3 um, extension. So what we're going to do to start a new file, to start a new project. So I'm going to make sure that I have, clicked this Lego Mindstorms EV3 Micro Python button right here. I'm going to come over here to create a new project, and then right up here, I am going to type in a name for my project. I'm just going to call this one, I don't know, demo, because that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to press enter. It's going to ask me where I want to save it. I'm going to save it on to my documents folder. I'm going to click select. So what it's done now is it's generated a new project. And I can click right here on main.py. And what it's done, let me zoom in here, make this a little bit easier to see. What it's done, it's created a basic skeleton program, Python skeleton program, with everything I need to get started. The main parts of the program we're going to be concerned with are right down here where it says create your objects here and write your program here. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to connect. There's a bunch of different ways you can connect. I'm going to connect with a standard USB cable. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this into my computer. And I'm going to plug the other end into the EV3. All right, got it all plugged in. Now I have to connect to my EV3. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to make sure that I've clicked Explorer up here. Okay. Now I'm going to come down here to EV3 Device Browser. And I'm going to click on it to expand it. It says click here to connect to a device. So I'm going to go ahead and click. And it's going to search. And it's going to find it, depending upon what operating system you have, whether you're using Windows or you're using Linux, it's going to be named a bit different. Mine's called EV3 Dev Ethernet 3. And so I'm going to click on it to connect. I've noticed under Linux sometimes it doesn't always find it right away, and it just sits and spins. And if I unplug off the brick and then plug back in, it will usually find it. I'm going to click right there. And over here you're going to see it's yellow, and then it should turn green when it's connected. We're good to go. I will say this, occasionally it will disconnect, and this is going to go red. I find it most of the time on Linux and not on Windows. All you got to do is come back down to here. In fact, I will disconnect it just for the heck of it. You'll see it went red. Let me plug back in there. So what you'll do is you come to here, you'll right click, which if you're on a laptop, that's 2 fingers usually, and then click reconnect. It's going to go yellow and then green again. I do find on occasion, especially with Linux, it won't always connect up. What I've got to do is I unplug it off the brick and then plug it back in and then try to reconnect it, and it works. Okay, we're ready to start doing some programming. This is a basic Python program, and what it does is it sets everything up that you need. And it causes your EV3 speaker to beep. So you can actually download this right away and run it, and it's going to cause your speaker to beep. So I'm going to come over here to the run and debug, right there on the left, run and debug. I'm going to click this green arrow. And so that you can hear it, I'm going to put this kind of up to my microphone. And it worked. You should have heard that beep, I hope. We can then change this program a little bit. Let's press enter here. Let's say for I in range 5, colon. That colon is really important. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I am going to press tab. That tab is really important. And then we're going to say weight 250. What this does is it creates a for loop. And the point of this video is not to teach basic Python, so I hope you know a little bit about for loops already. But it's going to do this loop 5 times. Okay? And in Python, anything you want inside of the loop that you're going to do that 5 times, it has to be indented with the tab key. And so what it's going to do is it's going to beep the speaker, wait for 1/4 of a second. This wait takes milliseconds, so 250 milliseconds is 1/4 of a second. And it's going to then go up and do it again and again and again. It's going to do it 5 times. And so once again, I can come over here and click download and run. So you should have heard it 5 times. I can change it to 10 if I want. And so that's basic beeping. Now, the beep command actually takes 2 parameters if you want to. I'm going to erase this, the weight 250. The first parameter it takes is the frequency. So we can type in a frequency, and then the next one is the duration in milliseconds. So if I wanted that to beep 5 times, okay, with 500 millisecond beep. Actually, let's do something a little bit different. Let's vary the frequency. So let's say the frequency is equal to I times, let's go with, I don't know, 100. And the duration, let's go 500. Let's have a second. So here's what's going to happen. Each time through the loop, the frequency is going to be equal to I, okay, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, times 100. Because remember, each time you go through the loop, I is going to take on the value of the current loop iteration. So it's going to start at 0 times 100, which is 0, 1 times 100, 2 times 100, etc. So it should go up in frequency. Let's just try it. And it worked. Okay, so that's all good. It's all fun. Let's do some quick motor control. Okay. Right here where it says create your objects here, this is where we're going to create our object. We're going to create a motor object. And so I've got a motor. Now this is a NXT motor, not an EV3 motor. My EV3 motors are all taken up right now, but it's essentially the same thing. What I'm going to do, the motor ports on this thing are the ports, same side as you plug in here, and they're labeled A, B, C, and D. I'm going to plug this into port A. Okay, port A. So I've got it plugged into port A, and in order to create a motor, we just name it. I don't know what I'm going to call this one. I'm going to call it, let's assume I'm building a robot, and this was the left motor of my robot. I might call it left_motor. If that's too much to type for you, you can just shorten it maybe to LM. Okay. And motor port.A. So what this does is it creates a motor object, a motor object attached to port A. And we're going to call it LM. So from here on out, I can now refer to this motor using the tag or the variable name LM or the object name LM. So if we want it to run, there's a bunch of different ways to make a motor run in Python, the EV3 motor run in Python. I'm just going to go with a really easy, simple way right now. That's lm.run, and then the speed. Okay, the speed is in degrees per second. So if you have a a circle. A circle's 360 degrees. If we tell it 360 degrees per second, it should take 1 second, okay, to go all the way around. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say wait 2000, okay, and then lm dot stop. So what this should do, lm dot run 360 causes our motor to start running at 360 degrees every second. We're going to wait 2 seconds. That's milliseconds there, 2000s and milliseconds. So we're going to wait 2 seconds, and then we're going to stop. So it should spin all the way around twice. So let's take that, put it straight up and down. Then I'm going to hit the download and run button. It's going to make some sound first. And then here we go. 1,000, 2,000. So that was not bad. The reason why it floated past is that it doesn't stop the motor hard. And there's ways to do that, but that's not bad. You can see that it went about a 360 degrees every second. $1,000, $2,000. That's not bad. Maybe in some later videos, we'll take a look at some better ways to run the motor in Python. Now, let's say I've got two motors, a left motor and a right motor. And let's say my right motor is plugged into port B. So I just make another motor object, call it RM. And once again, I didn't have to call it RM. I could have called it right underscore motor if I wanted to. But I'm lazy. I'm going to call it RM for right motor. So let's say I wanted to cause both motors to run at the same time, to go forward, to cause my robot to go forward. I can do something like this, rm.run. And let's do 720 on this. That's going to be twice the speed, 720 degrees per second. And so now if I plug another motor in, let me grab another motor here. So if I plug another motor in to that port B, actually I'm going to change it to port D. They're further apart, makes it a little bit easier. So let me plug into port D here. So plug it into port D. Oh, this wire is broken. It won't stay in place. The clip's broken. But let me see if I can get it to work. Getting it plugged in here. All right. I'm going to click download and run. Uh-oh. I've got an error. So down here you can see that I've got an error. Let me make this go up. A sensor and motor is not connected. So that's the problem. Like I said, this wire, and I don't have another one here with me. See if I can get it to work, though. I might be able to. All right. There we go. Now they both run. There we go. So they both ran. Let me run it again real quick. Come over here. I'll run it from here. Let's see here. File browser. First EV3. Main.py. Oh, I ran the wrong one. Let's try it again. It's hard to hold this. All right, file browser. Ah, there it is. Demo. Main.py. All right, here we go. Should see both of them run. Whew, there we go. All right. So this right here makes it go forward. Both of them are running in the forward direction. If you want a motor to go backwards, just put a negative speed on there, and this would cause the motors to go backwards. So now, something a little bit more advanced. Let's create a function called forward. And forward is going to take two things. It's going to take a speed and a time. And what we're going to do here, left motor dot run at the speed we tell it to, okay, and right motor dot run at the speed we tell it to, and we're going to wait time, and then we've got to turn it off. Left motor dot stop and right motor dot stop. Now to use this, all I have to do, and pause the video if you need to, and copy all this. All we've got to do is call our forward function. And we've got to give it a speed. So once again, let's go with that 720. And a time, let's go, I don't know, 4 seconds. Remember, this is in milliseconds. And so now if I've done this right, and I download this, see if it works. And there we go. Both of them go in the forward direction for 4 seconds. And if I wanted to make it go forward, more, forward again, at a different speed, let's say really slow, for 2 seconds, I just do that. I can call my forward function again, but with different numbers, different values. I'm going to press download. So now it should go forward really fast and then slow down for 2 seconds. And there it went slow for 2 seconds. There's that slow. And if I wanted to, last thing I'm going to show you, let's say I wanted to make a backwards function to make it go backwards. Programmers are lazy. I'm going to copy this, Control C. I'm not sure that was Control C. Control C and then Control V. All I got to do is change this to backward. And my speeds to negatives. And so now I've got a function for going forward and a function for going backward. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to backward. So now what it should do when I hit download is it should go forward for 4 seconds and then backwards for 4 seconds. Oh. Alright, got to plug that motor in again. Oh, we're unplugged again. It's unplugged from in there. This is a pain. Okay, it's going to work. Go one direction for 4 seconds, and then... Uh-oh. Oh, I typed in F backward. Oh my gosh, after all of that, getting it working, and it does that. I do that. All right, let's try it. Forward, 3,000, 4,000, and then it's going to go backwards. There we go. Whew. Okay. So that's super simple. Python in the EV3 or on the EV3. Um, Main things you got to remember just that LM or create your objects here. This right here, motor.port A, creates a motor object attached to port A. We're going to call it LM. Could have called it anything we want. This is RM. Once again, I'm making that my right motor. And up here, lm.run takes a speed. Okay. And we created a few little functions to go forward and backwards. See if you can create a function to go left and go right. All right, that's it. If you got any questions, just ask me. Bye-bye.